What would you do if you use your friend's car to go pick up your friend's dad, but then you realize your friend's dad might actually not be your friend's dad, and it might be a psychopath from Silence of the Lambs, so then you decide to run over him with your friend's car? Stay tuned, because we're talking Young and Josh's dad.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Young and Hungry After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Today we are talking Season 5, Episode 4, titled Young and Josh's Dad.
Yes.
What were your overall thoughts?
Really funny episode tonight.
Super funny.
One of my favorites.
From that intro, all I can keep thinking is I hope no one actually has that problem in real life.
Exactly.
That's
It's a lot.
kind of a bad problem to have.
Definitely. But first, where can everyone find you on social media, starting with Becca?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Karina XVRGS.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones. I did want to do a little plug before we started. April 11th, this amazing book comes out. It is titled Young and Hungry, Your Complete Guide to a Delicious Life. The author Diana Snyder came into my new talk show on Popcorn Talk called Millennial Hollywood to discuss her role as a writer and creating this new book. And we're going to the launch party.
Yes.
Woo!
Are you guys excited or
I'm
what?
so excited.
I know. I hope that we get to meet some really cool people. I do know that we're going to meet the real Gabi, who's also a co-writer.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she actually wrote the recipes and everything for this book, and she's going to be there. She's the one that inspired the show. I know. We should get her on. Definitely. I'll work on that. But okay, let's talk about this episode. We're going to start off with the storyline of... let's start off with Elliot's storyline, because he had a good story. So Elliot...
did.
Yeah, I know. He really did. Okay,
Both
so
him and Yolanda.
Yolanda is grumpy from doing this diet. Can you relate?
I was going to say, Yolanda started off strong with those insults.
She did.
She
And the
did.
video,
From the
yes.
very first line.
I know. I was like, is she allowed to say that on TV?
Yeah.
But she did multiple times.
2 years.
But she wants to outlive her ancestors because apparently they haven't had a very good track record because of drinking and not working out and all this kind of stuff. So she's like, I want to outlive them because they're pretty much would have been gone by the time that I'm around right now. So she wants to go to this doctor's appointment, and of course Elliot is super supportive and is there for emotional support. She's over there on this treadmill or whatever elliptical machine while he's over there sweating in a chair while eating nachos. My life. And it turns out she's actually really healthy, and he's the one that has to worry about his health. He needs to lose 30 pounds.
That's crazy.
Were you expecting the flip?
I wasn't.
No?
I thought maybe Yolanda was gonna like have health issues and like Elliot was actually gonna be a little bit more supportive, but he was like, "You picked me to be your emotional support." I was like,
I know. It's like you don't have anybody else. Like seriously.
I feel like this episode was just full of twists, and that was one of them. It started off there.
I think this is one of my favorite episodes this season so far.
Me too.
I liked
Me too.
how, you know, they always talk about sex in the episodes, whatever, but this episode I felt like they somewhat kept it pretty clean, which I appreciated because I get it, you know, it's an adult-themed channel now because it's Freeform instead of ABC Family. But it doesn't mean we need to promote sex. Like, I like how there can be other storylines, and we don't always have to focus on that. So I really appreciated how they kept it pretty clean for the most part. You know, you know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
they also even had like some emotional parts to it too,
Yeah.
with Josh's dad like towards
Definitely.
the end. So I really liked that. It wasn't all just comedy.
I know.
And-
it was real.
And no dog jumped out a window this time, so
Yeah.
I was okay with this episode.
Yeah, not one dog, not two dogs, but 3 dogs jumped out the window.
That was not okay with me last.
And the third one did not make it.
So it's not okay.
Like, that's pretty dark of them to kill off a dog,
is.
like, in it to bring out, and
Yeah,
that's-
in a comedy show.
Definitely. So Elliot gets to realize that he has to change his life and get his affairs in order, as he says. So he has to lose 30 pounds. He's wearing this heart monitor that kind of helps keep track of his health. And it turns out that every time he lies, his heart rate spikes, which sets it off, so it beeps every time he lies. So it's kind of like really
That's
helpful.
really cool though.
I
I
know.
never thought of that, like of that possibility.
I know.
And I loved that lie detector thing towards the end, especially, but we'll get there. We'll
Yes,
get
we'll
there.
get there. And I love how we found out Elliot's real name is Zhang Yi. I was like, what? Like, his real name is not even Elliot?
Oh, Elliot.
I know. And it turns out at the end, you know, Yolanda's trying to torture him by, like, eating pizza in front of him and everything. He's got a carrot stick. And his new trainer comes over. And he ends up liking his new trainer because his new trainer is...
Hot.
Kind of hot.
Really hot.
I like his new trainer.
So the new trainer comes in and is like, hey, guys, so I'm here for Elliot. And both of them are like, that's me.
If someone can find me his Twitter and, like, tweet me his Twitter or, like, mention me in a tweet with him, that'd be fantastic. so I'm counting on everyone watching.
All right. Rebecca's trying to get herself a man. It's about time. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the main storyline, the A storyline in this episode. So Elliot gets an email from Josh's father, and he says, hey, I want to see my son. Like, it's been so many years. Obviously, I left him at a young age. I'd like to see him. And Josh gets very, very upset. He does not want to see his father. His father left him. He never had a relationship with his father. He tried to reach out to him at a young age. He wrote a letter, and he never responded. So he doesn't want anything to do with him, which I totally understand. And especially the fact that he's like this multi-millionaire right now. He doesn't want this father to come in and try to steal money. Or maybe that's the reason why his father's coming around now, which I totally get.
I like how Gabi related herself to him in that moment by saying, well, one time I sent a letter to Joey from Friends.
She's like, don't feel bad. I never got it. It may have gotten lost in the mail. I didn't get a response back from Joey from Friends, so don't worry about your dad not responding.
I'm like, same, totally been there.
She really tried to like help him out or be there emotionally for him.
By relating it to Friends.
But it's
Right.
Gabi. You know?
It's Gabi.
And
Gabi.
she really, really wanted him to meet his father, and she said, I would give anything to be with my mother because she passed away. And she's like, I'm not going to pull the dead mother card, but I can't hang out with my mom because she's dead, so you should hang out with your dad. And I was like, that's so sad, like she pulled that.
Well, last time the dead mother card happened, I remember last season.
Oh, yeah.
The taping we went to.
Yes, the taping we went to where like she's like, Mom, give me a sign, and then her phone rings or something
Yeah.
and says from Mom, and it's like the new number. That was a funny episode. So Gabi convinces Sophia to go to the airport to pick up the father against Josh's will.
By saying that it's Matt Damon.
Yeah, he's like, it's Matt Damon. We're going to pick up Matt Damon from the airport. Turns out it's Matt Dannon.
I love how they actually did that too.
Like where she had her arm over the sign or what?
Where they like changed the name to Matt Damon instead of Matt Damon.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that was smart.
I know, that was
tricky.
very smart.
That was tricky.
I thought it was hilarious. And I love how Sophia is very gullible. She decides, we're going to go for it. Matt Damon's going to be there, but that's the only way that she was able to pull it off. Is someone in the chat?
Billie Jean Girl says weird stuff always happens to Gabi, and poor Sophia gets dragged along with her.
Every time.
True.
Every time.
Gabi always lies and pulls
500%
Sophia.
true.
I know. But thank you guys for sounding off in the live chat. Make sure you keep up with us. We love responding to your comments.
Yeah.
So definitely keep on chatting with us. So I love that. I think it was hilarious. They pick up this guy. They get in the car. And turns out Josh calls, says, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but I just wanted to say thanks for encouraging me to see my dad. I ended up picking him up from the airport. He got here early, and we're over at his hotel chilling. I'm just sitting next to my dad. And then they're like, who the heck?
Yeah.
So basically, I would just like to point out that everything that happens after that phone conversation is Josh's fault.
Yeah. I mean, at that point,
Yeah.
For being
even
a
though
liar.
Gabi overstepped her boundaries, he lies and says, hey, I'm with my dad at the hotel. So then the girls are thinking, this guy is a killer in our car, and we need to get him out. So they get him to pump gas while Gabi tells Sophia that it's not really his dad.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Well, I was gonna say pun intended with all the word lies that we're mentioning in the show, because as I noticed while watching the show, the guy who's playing Josh's dad was actually Ted Mercer in The Lion Game.
Really?
Yes,
Oh
on
my gosh.
ABC Family.
No kidding. I know you were comparing
I
this episode and that show.
No, I was making all sorts of puns on Twitter earlier.
I think the best part about this is that Gabi decides this is not safe. We've got to get this guy out of there. She ends up backing up instead of running away with the car. She runs over his foot, then runs over him again, and then breaks off the muffler of the car. But the whole time Josh lied, he didn't actually see his dad. So this guy really is the dad.
I loved in the car where she was like talking to herself, like in her mind.
Yes.
But then she was like screaming Sophia in her own brain, and then she was like, "Is she deaf or something?"
I know.
Like she can't hear you, obviously.
But it's funny because I feel like girls a lot, they have like this mental thing where like you can just kind of give someone a
Please
look or just
going.
like have like this energy in the room, and you guys can like communicate with like grunts and like winks
Eye
and
contact.
eye twitches. I feel like you girls are so good at that, and I'm over here like, what's going on?
I mean, what I would have done is like looked at the mirror that points to the back and like try to make eye contact
Yeah,
and be like, but
yeah.
Yeah.
they didn't think of that.
I think I do that all the time when I'm in my car with my family. If something's wrong or something, or if there's a weird person taking our order at the drive-thru, I just give them weird looks.
Yeah.
I know it's very effective. It's very effective. But Josh finally tells Gabi the truth. No, I did not see my father. I lied because she came out and said that she went after the dad, but it was really a killer. And then he had to tell her the truth. he gets really mad because he's like, wow, for once I actually thought you were going to stay out of it, and you didn't. You did exactly what I thought you would, and you're sick in the head. You always do this. And then she leaves.
But for, like, in this instance, she did it for a good reason. Like, I feel like she can justify her reason more in this episode than normal.
That is true.
And I'm going to say Josh is more at fault.
I don't know. I think they're both
Gabi.
equally at fault. They're both pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I get the reason for Gabi wanting to reunite him with his father.
But at the same place, that's a very touchy subject that doesn't need to be decided on by Gabi, who's just the ex of Josh, you know?
Yeah.
That's true, but having family close no matter what is good.
That is true.
Yeah.
But if a family hasn't treated you right in years and never was around, it's a different situation.
There's, like,
You
two
and I are
parts.
lucky because we've had really good families.
Yeah.
And we don't know what it's like in these situations where this kind of stuff happens. So,
That's true.
yeah.
There's two parts to this.
I admit that.
Amen, sister. Amen. But Josh is visits his dad in the hospital. And at first I'm thinking, oh, cool, he actually wants to visit him and get to know him. But he says, listen, I'm paying for your hospital bills. If you try to sue or anything, we're coming after you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you part of my life. And he said that he doesn't want somebody, tries to walk away. And then the dad's like, wait, don't you want to hear why I never responded to your letter? And he's like, yes. He basically says that he wanted to respond, but then days went by and weeks went by and then years went by, but he keeps the letter in his desk and he's very fond of it. At this point, you know, he goes back to tell Gabi about all of this, and he says that he forgives her and that he was happy that he saw his dad, but I don't think it's going to be a relationship between the two. I think he was happy that he saw him, knew where he came from, knew his father, but I don't think there's going to be a relationship there.
I mean, I would love if Andy Buckley played Josh's dad came back in the show. I could picture him being a part of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that hopefully there would be some, like, not, I guess, forgiveness, but at least, like, for him to know exactly, like, more in depth, I guess, or kind of, like, get to know each other since they spent so much time not knowing them.
Yeah.
And since he's been a character on the channel before, I see more probability of maybe the storyline returning because
feel
he's
like-
been in a recurring role in a
Yeah.
TV show on ABC Family.
I just feel like
Reform.
I don't know, because they didn't really resolve anything. They just said, I'm happy I met him, kind of a thing, and they kind of resolved things by there not being bitterness there anymore, but I don't think there's actually going to be a relationship there. Otherwise, I feel like they would have set it up more like, we're good, we're going to hang out this weekend, but he was like, I'm glad I met him. You know, he kind of sent him on his way. So that's why
We're
I
gonna
feel.
move on.
And you know, in the show, there's so many guest stars. They come in for an episode and then they're gone. So I don't see it happening, but I hope you prove me wrong.
Maybe Betty White will come back too.
Betty White is going to come back.
She is?
She's coming back for an episode. Yeah, she's coming back
Oh wait, yes.
in like a few weeks.
For as the name. Okay, but maybe she'll be a recurring.
I think they're going to use her every once in a while. Or maybe they'll get her for more than 2 episodes, but she is in one more. I know. It's confirmed.
She'll be recurring. She should be recurring.
I know. She should. In the end, Josh kind of uses Elliot's lie detector heart monitor thing and says that he wants to use one of his punches on his punch card with Gabi. And she's like, nope, because you have feelings for me. And he's like, no, I don't. And it goes off.
Yeah.
That
And
was
he's like, all right, fine, I'll leave.
favorite.
It was so cute.
I'm
So,
like, we need to keep that lie detector around.
I know.
For
So,
when they're like,
Yeah.
nope, we're not dating. We don't have feelings for each other.
so it shows that he
It
still has
keeps
feelings for
going
her.
off.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of a cute moment that will hopefully lead us up to, you know, some having.
I think that's
them
how they
together.
did it too. They brought the punch card back because I kind of was forgetting about it
Yeah.
until they brought it up, and I was like, hopefully they're going to use that.
Yeah.
Because that is the storyline for these like next 10 episodes.
That's true.
So
And I have 2 questions for y'all from people in the chat.
Uh-huh.
Emmanuel was upset that Gabi didn't assume Josh was lying because that's the first place his mind went. What about y'all's mind?
So he was saying that, like,
Did you think that Josh was telling the truth about being with his dad at first?
100%. But I thought he was with someone who was a fake. You know what I mean? I thought
You
maybe,
thought Josh was with someone
I
who was
thought
a
Josh
fake?
was with the fake, and that Gabi really had the real dad. That's what I
no,
had.
I had it the different way.
Really?
I really like from the moment I was like, oh dang, like he's really with his dad, and then
That's what I
that guy
thought, too.
is a serial killer, and I was like, oh my gosh, like he is lying, you know. So I automatically thought serial killer. too.
I thought the worst as well.
Wow.
And then Also, do you all see similarities between Josh and his dad? I wasn't really paying attention
Wait,
to
who
that.
said that one?
Billie Jean girl.
Okay, do you see similarities between Josh and his dad? I really don't. I really don't. But
I
maybe it's
wasn't paying
because
attention.
Yeah.
maybe it's because they're two different people. They never were around, so they don't have chemistry enough to like kind of pick up on each other's mannerisms. If that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
I felt like he wasn't like that much part of the show. Like we didn't get to know him much other than like him being in the car.
Yeah,
That's true.
So who knows if we'll see him again?
Yeah.
But
Cross my fingers.
yes, and now that leads us into predictions.
Like,
These lights are so trippy. I'm waiting for it. So, do you guys have any big predictions?
let's start with Becca.
This is always dangerous.
Uh-oh.
Never
Yeah,
start
no,
with Becca. You have to give her a while to think about it.
That's accurate.
So
Okay,
anyway,
I have a prediction.
Okay, go ahead.
Ow.
Well, you know how I've been wanting Yolanda to have someone special in her life, so hopefully the workout guy he actually stays and maybe like she hires him to be like her workout buddy.
That's true.
And so
I'd be down for him to stay.
I know, I would
Can
do
he
that.
stay?
I think it'd be hilarious because wasn't Yolanda in the last episode just with that older guy from the restaurant? Remember?
Oh,
She
yeah.
ran off with the waiter, and who was
She's
gonna get
such a
off in 5
player.
minutes.
obviously didn't work out because he hasn't came back. So
I'd love to have an episode. I predict that we're gonna have an episode where all of Yolanda's ex-lovers just come flooding in.
Oh
at the
my
same
gosh.
time,
that would be awesome.
and they all want
Well,
her
yeah,
back.
because she's a player.
She is. I feel like everyone in the show's a player for the most
I
part.
know.
Oh, you know what would be a cool episode? Speaking of that, if Elliot had like a whole fantasy episode to himself, where he was with Josh.
Where he was with Josh. Well, there was
Yeah.
a fantasy.
Yeah,
There was a fantasy where I think they were together for a while, and one episode maybe.
yeah. I
Rex, if
remember
you're
seeing
watching, make sure to tell me if I'm wrong. But I feel like there was one where he was dreaming or something, and they were together.
There's been that.
Okay.
But like a whole like episode where everyone is on board with that.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Where like everyone is like aware that Elliot and Josh are dating.
That would be. I don't know. I feel like that would get us off track though, because I feel like it would be like one of those flashback episodes or like dream episodes, but then it wouldn't like progress the story, if that makes sense.
I wonder if they would be
That
down to
doesn't
do a
progress the
musical.
story.
A musical episode.
Ooh.
A musical.
Pretty Little Liars is doing one.
Yeah,
Nuh-uh.
I know. A lot.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so like Ashley Benson's gonna be singing?
I just got us way off topic.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I know a lot of shows are doing musicals right now.
Once Upon a Time's doing one.
So I was like, oh, maybe they could do one.
So wait, are
No
they?
way.
Is all the actresses from that show actually singing, or
I don't know,
Or
but I know
some
they're
of
doing
it.
a musical episode.
are they gonna pull a Troy Bolton and have what's his name?
Drew Seeley.
Drew Seeley in the background singing for Zac Efron? Who knows?
Probably.
We'll have to wait and see. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. This was so
Yeah,
much
this was
fun.
nice.
Any final thoughts, or what are you looking forward to for next week?
Gabby and Josh.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen.
We
it
need
has
the
to
lie
happen.
detector.
I know.
I
We need it
know.
in our lives.
They should bring that back.
They need to bring it
They
back.
should all wear it.
Yes, everyone has to wear one because that would be a very funny episode to have all that
Ooh.
going on.
And a guy for Sophia.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
that too. Well,
Everyone
Kendrick.
needs somebody.
I want Kendrick.
Yes, definitely. Well, guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to give us a thumbs up and also subscribe to AfterBuzz TV, as well as giving us a comment down below. We love getting back to you guys. If you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure to give us a 5-star rating, write a review. We love reading them. You guys are amazing. And where can everyone find you on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV, and make sure to check out the 13 Reasons Why after show. Rate us on iTunes, subscribe. We're doing a giveaway for a signed book.
Wow.
So-
cool.
Ooh. And you guys can find me everywhere on Twitter and Instagram at KarinaXVRGS. And don't forget to watch Criminal Minds on Thursday nights.
Yay, so much fun.
I know.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones. You can also check me out in like 5 minutes from now in this same room. We're going live with James Lott Jr. for the Baby Daddy After Show, as well as my talk show Millennial Hollywood airing on Popcorn Talk. We are going live at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this Friday with very special guest Ray Diaz, who is a new star on George Lopez's new show, Lopez. So make sure you check that out. We love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week. Stay young and stay hungry.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.